Hello everybody and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today there was an announcement by the Commander Rules Committee that announced no bans and no unbans. We did get some new members of the Commander Advisory Group, especially the one that I'm excited about is Rebel. But today I wanted to talk a little bit about two cards that I wish had been banned in Commander. The first of these cards is Thassa's Oracle. Now I know this is a little bit of a sensitive topic for some. Some might say just get good scrub or something like that. But I personally think that Thassa's Oracle deserves a ban because nothing in the format is as efficient as Thassa's Oracle, and possibly ever has been as efficient as Thassa's Oracle at winning the game. Thassa's Oracle, in combination with Demonic Consultation, or Tainted Pact, or even a couple other more fringe options, allows you to empty your library entirely and win the game with its Enters the Battlefield trigger. The main issue with this combo is that basically every other combo that sees play in the format is vulnerable to some form of permanent-based interaction. Say, you go for Isochron Scepter and Dramatic Reversal to make infinite mana and then draw your deck with Thrasios. But your opponent has a Nature's Claim. Nature's Claim can stop that combo, but it can't do that to Thassa's Oracle. Let's say you have Kiki-Jiki and Felidar Guardian, and you go to try and make infinite Felidar Guardians, but somebody has a Swords to Plowshares. Swords to Plowshares stops that combo, but it doesn't do anything to Thassa's Oracle. The only forms of interaction that Thassa's Oracle is vulnerable to are more niche things like enters the battlefield stopping effects in stacks, or counter spells on the Demonic Consultation or the Tainted Pact. And even then, with Thassa's Oracle remaining in play, it's possible for your opponent to go for it another time through things like Phantasmal Image, a bounce spell on their Thassa's Oracle, anything like that allows them to attempt to go for it again at a later point. Even stuff like Flash Hulk, which was notorious in the format for being far too powerful, still required that you not draw the Flash Hulk pieces in your hand. So even then, it was more slot intensive and required more setup to be, well, not more setup, but it required at least one more thing to be checked off on a box before more than Thassa's Oracle and Demonic Consultation. And Flash got banned because Sushi Hulk was the best deck in the format. Thrasios Tymna deck that used Flash Hulk to assemble Nomad's Encore and Cephalid Illusionist to mill its deck, along with Thassa's Oracle with its Enters the Battlefield trigger already on the stack. Thassa's Oracle really just homogenized all of the various Flash Hulk decks and made them more resilient against forms of interaction like permanent-based interaction or graveyard hate. So Thassa's Oracle still carries over those same strengths today. If Thassa's Oracle were to get banned, we could see a rise in popularity of things like Jace, Wielder of Mysteries, and Laboratory Maniac again. Doomsday Piles might be the preferred way to win instead of just raw Thassa's Oracle and Demonic Consultation like it is nowadays. We could see a return to Isochron Scepter and Dramatic Reversal as the go-to Dimir win con, but all things considered, I do think that Thassa's Oracle is deserving of a ban because nothing in the format is as efficient as Thassa's Oracle and Demonic Consultation. It's just 2 cards, 3 mana, win the game. And even the next best combos like Underworld Breach, Lion's Eye Diamond, and Brain Freeze still requires a 3rd piece and a 4th mana unless you're generating that mana from Lion's Eye Diamond. So 2 cards winning you the game for 3 mana is a little absurd. And even other 2-card combos that we see in the format, things like Witherbloom Apprentice and Chain of Smog, is 4 mana instead of 3. Things like Dualcaster Mage and Twin Flame is 5 mana. Kiki-Jiki and anything that Kiki can bottom with is 8 mana at least, though it's more often assembled via a Birthing Pod line. But all things considered, nothing in the format is as efficient as Thassa's Oracle, so I think that it is deserving of a ban. The other thing that I want to talk about is Opposition Agent. And I know Rebel jokes about this a little bit because she's a Sisay player. She plays the 5-color Sisay. I play the 2-color Sisay. And I'm not just saying that Opposition Agent should be banned because I'm a Sisay player. I think that Opposition Agent leads to an increasing number of disparaging game states where, say, one player has a Mana Crypt, a Swamp, and an Opposition Agent, and the rest of the table has fetch lands in their hands. The game can basically just be decided already. And I don't think that there's any world where it should be allowed for your first opponent to crack their fetch, and for the 3 mana that you generated on turn 1, you get a 3/2 body with flash. You also strip mine your opponent's fetch land. You find your next land that you need from their deck, and with Opposition Agent controlling the player, you get access to all hidden information that they have access to. So you get to look at things like their hand, you get to look at morph cards that they have in play, you get to look at the contents of their library. So you get perfect information on what that player has access to at that point for 3 mana that also has a 3/2 body, instant speed, that strip mines an opponent's land and finds you your next land. I think that's far too much for a single card to do. And I think that we do need more search hate. I think that we need things that add some incentive to not searching at least some point in the game. That is not just, well, if I search, my opponent gets my stuff. Things like Aven Mindcensor or Archivist of Ogma or Leonin Arbiter are all things that exist as search hate that see play at least somewhat in some decks. And I think that they're a much better balanced version of search hate. There's also things like Stranglehold, which has been somewhat power crept out of the format. And Stranglehold, I think, is a better, more balanced search hate than things like Opposition Agent. And I do think that we need more search hate in the format for the health of the format, but I don't think that it should be as powerful as things like Opposition Agent, where for 3 mana you get to strip mine your opponent's first land drop, find your next land, get a 3/2 body with haste, and get perfect information on what they have in hand and in library. That's just my 2 cents on the 2 cards that I wish had been banned today. Obviously, I'm not in control of the format in any capacity, and I'm also totally not just salty that I lost 2 tournament top 4s to a turn 3 Thassa's Oracle because nobody had interaction for it. Yeah, that's definitely not it. It's definitely not it. In any case, thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.